So on Sunday, the Miami Dolphins have a chance to start the new year off on a bang. Happy New Year to you if you're watching Dolphins in Depth on Wednesday evening, or Happy New Year to you if you're watching it on Thursday. I am host Omar Kelly, Miami Dolphins columnist for the Miami Herald. Joining me is Isaiah Smalls, who is dressed in some ridiculously ugly red paraphernalia.
OHIOSTATE. You already know what it is.
Representing a University of Ohio.
No. It's the Ohio.
I am
State
not
University.
calling nobody the.
It's
No,
fine. You don't have to. You gonna find out tonight though. It's okay. It's okay, man. It's okay.
Listen, while I know that Ohio State is a massive juggernaut, has been the perennial power of football for a couple years, along with Alabama, you do remember who 20 years ago was the big dog on campus. That was the University of Miami. And we have come to reclaim our spot as a perennial power in the college dynamic. Hopefully Carson Beck has
hopefully there's a lot is resting on that word. Hopefully, sir. A lot is resting on that word.
We shall see what happens on tonight in the national championship game.
It's not even national champ. See, that's how I know.
My bad.
Yeah. You're getting ahead of yourself, my boy.
It's a quarterfinal. You see, I still have flashbacks to 2001. I was there in Arizona at the Fiesta Bowl. I watched my homie, my fellow Cal City Chief, Glenn Sharp, get hit with a inappropriate super late flag for a PI that didn't exist, and I still have a little trauma for that.
Okay.
I saw Ken Dorsey curled up on a couch, crying like a baby. It was a hard night. I saw Willis McGahee getting wheeled off the field. It was a hard night.
It's okay.
I actually get redemption.
Okay, all right. So before we hop into the show, then we should just put a little something on it. I'm not talking anything monetary. I have two ideas, right? We both know our affinity for sparkling water, right? So you know how Shannon and you used to put cases of Dew. We can put a case or two of sparkling water on it.
But I get to name what kind of water I want.
Of course, yes. Okay. Same with me. And then I would love to have a sign on your chest that says Isaiah knows ball better than me. I would love that.
That will never happen. So we will enjoy the sparkling water.
That's fun. I might have overstepped my bounds a little bit, but hey, look, that's what I wanted. All right.
Let's simmer down. Okay. The Dolphins have a season finale against the New England Patriots, the AFC reigning champion New England Patriots, the possible number one seed in the AFC New England Patriots, the we rebuilt in 2 years New England Patriots. It's hard to put in terms what the Patriots have done in one season, especially when you look at Miami losing that 33-27 fourth quarter, them coming from behind win in week 2, which was really kind of the first backbreaker. The Indianapolis Colts loss was kind of a pimp slap, but the Patriots fourth quarter loss, that was like a suplex.
That's when I realized that this team actually might be pretty terrible. Because you know how the saying, like, bad teams find a way to lose.
Yes. And that is so true. That is so true. And unfortunately for the Miami Dolphins, Drake May is a MVP candidate in year 2, and has the Patriots on a great run. If they could probably get past the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans, which would be my pick to win the Super Bowl right now.
The Texans?
Houston Texans. If you got some money, put it on Houston because they hot.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah, that defense is lights out. Yeah, that defense is lights out.
But the Dolphins can play a spoiler a little bit. I mean, send New England into week 1. Don't let them rest.
Yeah.
And also there are plenty of incentives to be played for in this game,
mm-hmm.
especially Bradley Chubb's incentives.
2.5 sacks, baby.
That man, let me paint the scenario for you, Dolphin fans. Mm-hmm. He has triggered so many incentives in his contract with performance and playing time. If the Dolphins, which are trailing the Atlanta Falcons by 2 points, somehow hold their opponent, the New England Patriots, to 3 less points than the Atlanta Falcons hold the New Orleans Saints to, Bradley Chubb will pull in a cool $5.2 million in incentives. And woo, man, I have never seen anybody go into a final game with those kind of stakes. For my brother Bradley, Mr. Bradley Chubb, if you do not have a GMC truck offered up to every defensive player, my brother, you are making a sad mistake. That's every defensive starter. Let me correct myself. Every defensive starter. Mm-hmm. You play 35 or more snaps, and we win. I put a win contingent in it too, mm-hmm. and we hold our opponent. You help me get my $5.2 million. UConn's for everybody.
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. I feel
that. Play your Oprah Bradley Chubb, because
I ain't
my brother, that's a lot of money. As I said in the last podcast, that's his level of incentives. Only 8 players on the roster make more than Bradley Chubb will make in incentives if the Dolphins are a top 20 scoring defense when the season ends. So not only that, but we got Quinn Ewers, who talked today, and maybe it's really the first time I've seen him in person at the podium, but he kind of got a little presence to him. He kind of got a little swagger to him, like kind of like I've been here before kind of
mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it's something that I've when I heard players first mention it, right, especially after I heard Jalen Waddle specifically say the same thing about Quinn Ewers initially that he said about Skylar Thompson a couple years back, I was like, all right, maybe this is he said he got a little bit of swag to him. He literally, I'll go find the clip for you. He said
Jalen Waddle said Skylar Thompson got a little bit of swag to him.
Yeah, he did.
Come on now.
So just,
and I like Skylar. I like Skylar. So I like Skylar.
I was about to say, like, what's your beef with Skylar?
No, I like Skylar. Skylar been on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Skylar earned a 53-man spot. Props to Skylar. I really thought he got a bad shake because that man broke his ribs in his first start. Not that he was playing good, but he broke his ribs in his first start and continued to play. But good, carry on.
So I was a little bit skeptical, but the more I talk to players, the more that I just physically see it with my eyes. You're right. He definitely has a presence to him. And I mean, he has. It's not like this is his first time playing big time ball. Like, the kid went to Texas. Like, that he probably has more fans and I forget the name of the stadium down there in Austin, but he probably has had more fans there than he has this year at a Dolphins game. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, those stadiums in college football are ginormous, and especially knowing how big that Texas fan base is. Like,
and louder too, probably.
Yeah, and louder. So, like, I don't think he's a stranger to the moment, right? And so what I've been very impressed with, though, is just the calm coolness that he has, right? Like, when he's up, whether it's up there at the podium, whether he's in there in the pocket, he's not getting rattled, right? The only one terrible play that stands out in my mind of his was that interception that he threw to when targeting Jalen Waddle against the Bengals, right? It just was a bad ball, but he recognized it. And, I specifically asked, I believe it was Bevel, the quarterback's coach. Yes. And I just asked him about, how did you see him respond to that? Because you can tell a lot about a quarterback after they make a mistake. What is their response like? Is it short-term memory? Is it, oh man, I really should never thrown that ball, especially with the stakes of the game? And
do they beat themselves up?
Yeah, do they beat themselves up? But Bevel said he handled it like a pro. He walked over to the bench. He knew exactly what he did wrong. He said it, and and then he just moved on, right? And I think that's what you require. That's what's necessary, what's needed in a franchise quarterback. So props to him. Obviously, he has a big test going to Foxborough. That is a team that is going to play hard. We know Vrabel's history against the Miami Dolphins. He likes to put that belt, likes to bring out that belt, ask brown or black, which one you want. And so but this is a new era, right? Like, and
new era of what?
No. Just listen. Just follow me on this point. Quinn said something today that I think is deserves to be highlighted. Right? He said whether you like it or not, the teams take on the personality of the quarterback and the head coach, right? Okay. And so when I think about last week, and I'm seeing guys dancing again, I'm seeing guys like have a little bit of pep in their step, a little bit of swagger. I can't help but think that the quarterback change is a big part of that, right? And I'm not to say guys hate Tua like that. That's not at all. He's a captain at the end of the day. But at the same time, I think players will be the first to notice more than we do, even sometimes more than the coaches do, when a guy has lost it a little bit, right? And so when a guy has lost it a little bit, and all of a sudden you bring in a new guy and he brings that youthful exuberance, right? The team is going to feed into that, right? And it's a theory that I've been kind of working around in my mind, and I'll ask some more guys, on Friday when we're in the locker room. But to me, it just seems like this team is a little bit happier than they were, despite being 7-9, right? They're 7-9.
They're 7-9.
Yeah, 7-9. Yes, despite being 7-9, there is a pep in the step, a little bit of youthful exuberance in the locker room.
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Because they won.
I mean, yes, they won, but that wasn't something that many thought was possible with the rookie signal caller. Like, let's not act like we didn't debate on this very show that part of the reason why they made the change was to potentially, not saying they were motivated by tanking, but it was a win-win. You get to see what you got in him, and if y'all lose all three of those games, that just drives your draft position up, right? So let's not act like that point kind of totally disappears. So all I'm saying is I'm just noticing, and I'm going to talk to more guys about it on Friday. Like, guys just seem a little bit happier. I
will say this. I think they have more confidence in their quarterback because they know their quarterback can make all the throws. I think they have more confidence in their quarterback because they know their play caller isn't limited on what he can call. I think they have more confidence in their quarterback because their quarterback hasn't lost his confidence. And on top of that, he also doesn't know what he doesn't know. And as I said to you before, and defenses don't know him. It takes about 5 games. I've always been told this. It takes about 5 games for defensive coordinators to get a book on you, figure out what your tendencies are, figure out what you like, figure out what your go-tos are, and then take it away from you. And then it's what do you do? Now, we won't get to that this season with Quinn Ewers because 3 starts is not, unless Mike Vrabel just like comes up with the recipe automatically. And that's possible because he's a really good defensive coordinator. There are defensive coordinators who can absolutely do that. Brian Flores is one of those guys where he will give rookies fits because he will show you one thing and take it away and give you another thing. And you will think you saw something, but no, you didn't.
You saw a ghost.
Yeah, you saw a ghost. Vrabel is not that kind of coach, but I will say this. You know that game's going to be physical. And,
oh, yeah.
But I think that this Dolphins defense is much better than the Dolphins defense, and the offensive line is much better than the Dolphins defense and offensive line that they faced earlier in the season.
Oh, I agree, 110%.
I think a great motivation for the Miami Dolphins is something that Bradley Chubb said today, which is we can't allow them to sweep us. It's in our division. Like, we almost won the last time. Like, we have to, and the Dolphins still have to end these narratives. Dolphins can't be the winning team. Dolphins can't play in the cold. It's the same. Dolphins fall apart in December. It's the same narrative that we've had for 4 years. That
of course
you're not going to make. It's not going to go away till you actually do it. Now,
yes, bro.
would a victory mean anything? I think it would mean a lot, because I personally believe that it will save Mike McDaniel and the coaching staff's job.
I agree.
Not that it should, but from my perspective, Mike has been way too confident lately. Just way too confident. Like, something everybody else don't know confident. And I'm pretty much an expert on Mike McDaniel's speech and body language. And this Mike McDaniel is a confident guy right now. The one you're looking at right now, he is very, very, very confident. And that's not something Mike always gives off. So I think personally, something had to be said to him to give it off. But now the national people are saying, oh, it's 50-50, depending on what happens, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I personally don't think Steve Ross has decided anything. I personally don't think Steve Ross has made up his mind on anything. I personally hope that Steve Ross will wait until Black Monday, maybe Tuesday, before maybe after the playoff, first round of the playoffs, before he decides anything. Because the last thing that I want Steve Ross to do is, after the game, come out and say, Mike McDaniel's safe. He's coming back. I'm running it back with Champ Kelly. And then a week later, John Harbaugh is available because he loses a game in the first round. Nah, give me that. Let me get that. Let me get that.
That's facts. That's facts.
Like, and no disrespect to Mike, no disrespect to Champ Kelly, because I do believe if given power and control, they could potentially build something respectable. Now, would I say that they could build something championship caliber? Nah, but respectable, and give them one chance. But how many times are we gonna keep doing this over and over again?
That's fair. That's fair. And I wanted to kind of touch on something you mentioned earlier about not wanting to be swept by the Patriots, because look, the way it stands now, and the rebuild that they've done in 2 years, it looks like they're about to be the perennial powerhouse in that division for a while, right? And one thing that you can do, one thing that is completely in your control, is to tell them, like, all right, y'all might be top dogs, but it's going to be a battle anytime you come down to Miami or anytime you face the Dolphins, right? And so you want to put that into their mind now.
Series with Brady,
exactly,
all the time.
Exactly. I've heard Brady talk about some of the worst defenses he's ever had to face were down here in Miami, right? So I say that to say, look, like, it might be a small mental edge, but it's a mental edge nonetheless when you can go into 2026 and say, look, like, we split the series, and as far as I'm concerned, you're a kick return away from losing that game. So it's just something mentally that you want to hold over them. And look, I to your point, this is a big game. Like, because at the same time, they're playing for a number one seed. Obviously, you have Denver out there competing for the number one seed in the AFC as well. But you want to be able to tell them, like, look, it's going to be a battle. Anytime you face that Aqua and Orange, you better strap up. So, look, there's something to be played for, in addition to all the incentives, all this stuff. And to me, the thing that I'm going to be looking forward to is how can the rookies build off of last week's performance, right? Last week was probably the best game that the rookies have all put together. Am I right or wrong?
Guess so.
From offense to defense, right?
All right, guess so.
And my thing is this: what are you going to do now, right? What's the next step in that evolution? Because look, they invested heavily in the youth, right? That was the thing. That was Chris Greer's mandate from day one. We need to find young players that are ready. And first 5-6 weeks of the season, they were not ready. Like, let's just keep call a spade a spade. They were not ready, and it looked bad. But throughout that win streak, maybe around the Cleveland game, we started to see more and more flashes. And look, they put together the most complete game, whether you want to talk about Quinn Ewers' 2 touchdowns, Jason Marshall Jr.'s TFL to pick, Zeke Biggers' blocked field goal. They put together a great game. And so for me, it's now about what are you going to do now? What are you going to do next? Because anybody can do anything. You can win a game off of emotion, right? Anybody can do that. But once that next week comes around, you got to go through that preparation again, especially with this being the last one. What are you going to show me?
Definitely. I'm very curious about a number of things heading into the game. Let's get into the injury report because it's pretty substantial. We have a lot of do not practices. Devon Achane with a shoulder injury did not practice. Jordan Brooks with a hamstring injury did not practice. Brooks said he playing though. Minka Fitzpatrick with that calf injury looks like he's going to be sidelined another week. On a side note, if the Dolphins do not put Minka Fitzpatrick on injury reserve and go claim somebody off somebody's practice squad, you will be losing an opportunity. Don't do this. Go claim somebody. Go get somebody's talent. Go get an offensive lineman. I don't care what you claim. Go get something. In terms of Chop Robinson, he is in a concussion protocol. We watched Chop Robinson do conditioning work on the field. The next step for him is to practice in a red jersey. And then after that, he has to practice again with contact and not suffer any side effects from his lingering concussion symptoms. His brain has to get to baseline. And then he has the potential to be cleared for Sunday's game. Here's the only caveat that I will say about that. In Mike McDaniel's 4 years, especially since the Tua concussions, we have not seen a player suffer a concussion and return to the field the very next week. It has not happened during the Mike McDaniel era. Now, side note, Chop Robinson's a young player that needs playing time. He has not looked good this season. He has, in his own words, had a disappointing sophomore season. I'm sure he wants to get out there and at least end it on a positive note. The question is, will Mike McDaniel give him the opportunity to?
And, when we're talking about Mike McDanielisms and Mike McDaniel traits that he doesn't usually buck, we saw one specifically happen this year with Darren Waller being activated from IR and returning the week that he was activated from IR. So I say that to say, there is a potential that he could.
If he practices in a red jersey tomorrow, I promise you he's gonna play.
Exactly.
So I would give Chop. You got the whole offseason, your brain activity. You got the whole offseason. Let your brain settle in, a little concussion, a little headache here and there.
That's crazy. Let's not play. Let's not play with
that. Little headache.
Let's not play with that.
Rib injury for Jalen Waddle, did not practice. I am really concerned about Jalen Waddle for this game, but Jalen is also 90 yards away from 1,000 yards. I don't think he has a chance in hell to get it, especially defended by Carlos Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez, but it's there. It's a possibility. Aaron Brewer practiced on a limited basis. He's got that neck injury that kept him from playing last week. And then we have KJ Britt, who's got a groin injury, and Austin Jackson, who's got a back injury, who practiced fully. We also met Darren Waller with a groin injury. Darren Waller only practices once a week. That's just known. What injury, if any, concern you about the Dolphins?
I mean, I'll give you two, right? Obviously, the Devon Achane shoulder, because that wasn't something that we had known about coming from that game and, heading into this week. So that's one. The second one, on the flip side of that, right, a positive development is Aaron Brewer, right? We talked to him a little bit today. He mentioned, it kind of killed him last week to not play with that neck. And he's not trying to, mess around with it, but it's encouraging to see him, get back out there and try to play. Even though, your boy Andrew Meyer played pretty solid, had a pretty solid game. It's definitely important for, I know, Aaron to finish the season strong and all that stuff. So those are the two ones that stand out to me.
Yeah, for me, Jalen Waddle, because you already got like a receiver and a half on this team.
Oh, yeah.
Quinn Ewers needs a chance. This can't be a 3 tight end offense.
No,
and that's what they used last week. They used 3 tight ends because who was he going to throw to when Waddle was out? Am I telling a lie?
No. I'm thinking we're gonna have to see Taj Washington, Malik Washington. They're gonna have to step up. Cedric Wilson gonna have to step up. Like, it's a bunch of guys that's gonna have to step up if that's the route they're going. If it's gonna be
Do you see anybody stepping up?
I mean, that wasn't the question I was asked. I'm just saying what has to happen. I don't know if,
And then I asked you a new question. Do you see anybody stepping up?
These guys would have to have stepping up to me in this context would mean having the game of their life. So against a pretty talented Patriots defense, I personally don't see that happening. But, stranger things have happened.
I mean, you don't know what everybody's motivation is. To me, I'm worried about Mike McDaniel being outcoached by Mike Vrabel, who I think has outcoached him probably just
every single time that they played.
That's just not a good matchup. Generally, it's like finesse versus physicality. You always gonna lose on that.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying Devon Achane. If he does not play, I think it becomes like for onto the purpose of this conversation, screw Jalen Waddle. If Devon Achane don't suit up on Sunday, it's gonna get scary.
Here, Devon Achane has 1,350 rushing yards. He also leads the team in receptions with 488 receiving yards. He leads the team with 67 receptions, but has 488 receiving yards. Do you think that Waddle, who is basically 100 and I'll tell you in a minute, 162 yards away from being a 2,000-yard back, do you think he can get there?
Wait, I'm sorry. Let's back up a second. You said Waddle and you said
Achane. Achane is 162 yards, all-purpose yards away from being a 2,000 back. Do you think he can get there?
That would be that would require like an exceptional game from him. I mean, it's possible, right? But I just don't see that necessarily happening. Especially against a talented defense like this, he could get close. I mean, look, because that's basically 80 yards apiece. Like, and he'll make it. He would make it easier on himself if he gets 100 yards on the ground and 60 through the air. But again, like that's going to be difficult.
All he needs a big run and a big reception, which I think
that's true. No, it's possible. But do I think that it's going to happen? No.
Nah. We also have, as I said, Waddle is close to 90 yards away from 1,000. That's going to be real contingent on he plays. One guy that I absolutely need to give a shout out to, because I did not know this, and I'm sure you did not know this, but you probably suspected it. Rasul Douglas has had a phenomenal year this year. Rasul Douglas, who is playing for $1.4 million this season, or as he likes to say, he is playing for free. For the Freezies. This man is, according to Pro Football Focus, which is not my gospel. I do not say it is my gospel. It is not the end all be all, but it's a good gauge. Mm-hmm. He's the 13th ranked cornerback in the NFL out of 113 qualifiers. That's pretty damn good. And even better than that, opposing quarterbacks have a 65.2 passer rating when throwing in his area, which is 8th on the team when for cornerbacks who have been targeted 40 more times this season. That is an elite performance. If you have not noticed, lockdown Mike Evans last week, the week before that,
Jamar Chase didn't really do much on him specifically. Now he diced up everybody else, but on him specifically, it wasn't. It was slow for him.
The week before that, DK had DK on lock. They had one, little.
That was a crosser.
He crossed in the zone.
Crosser.
The week before that, he had what's the Jets receiver Williams? You play fantasy football, Jets.
Garrett Wilson. He didn't play that week though.
Oh, he didn't play that week?
About?
Oh, my bad. No, but he really was good that Jets game.
Yeah, it's because he almost had the pick 6, I believe. Was that the one that he caught it right before the half and he didn't. No, that was against the Saints.
Yeah. I mean, he really had a good performance again. He's really played.
No, he is. He's been exceptional.
Good second half of the season, and I've been very, very impressed with him. I know the Dolphins. We don't know who's running this Dolphins. We don't know who's building this team. We don't know what's going to happen. But if you don't make an effort to try to get Rasul Douglas back, you'd probably be making a sad mistake. But
I told him that today. Like the Mike Evans to me was very indicative of everything I want to see, because I mean that to me is one of the most underrated receivers in the league. To me, a future. I was about to say, to me, a future Hall of Famer. But he doesn't have any All Pros, which to me is mind-boggling.
Mike Evans doesn't have any All Pros.
He has 6 Pro Bowls though, but 0 All Pros. It's a travesty. It's a travesty.
He's like top 10 in receiving yards all time.
Exactly, but 0 All Pros, because I feel like a lot of times with the All Pros they try to give it to whatever receiver is hot right now.
Tyreek is going to take up half of them. So Tyreek takes up a bunch. Who else took up a bunch of All Pros in this era? The one that's in with the Rams. I'm sorry, all these names have escaped me.
Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp definitely took up a few.
Cooper Kupp took up a few. DeAndre Hopkins took up a few during his career. Mike Evans is right now ranked 22nd on receiving yards with 13,018 going into this game, man. And there's no signs that this is going to be his final game. Those are very impressive numbers. And I will argue to you, with the exception of Torrey Holt, Anquan Bolden is not in the Hall of Fame. I'm trying to look at everybody.
Torrey Holt is a finalist, though. Wasn't he just named a finalist?
Torrey Holt is a finalist this year. Steve Smith Sr., Steve Smith was a baller.
Yeah, that was a dog.
And I don't know why he keeps getting overlooked. Everybody who is in the top 20 except for Torrey Holt, Anquan Bolden, and Steve Smith are already in the Hall of Fame, except for DeAndre Hopkins as well, who's still playing.
Yeah.
And clearly D-Hop is going to be in the Hall of Fame. So Mike Evans, maybe not first ballot, but certainly
he's going to get in there.
He definitely going to get in there. I think there's a different recognition, and I do want to say, even though you didn't make it to the finalists, Richmond Webb, tons of props to you and congratulations on making it to the semifinalists for 2 years in a row.
Of course.
You just had some better offensive linemen up against you that year. Hopefully the deck will clear for you eventually, and the runway will open up for you to get into the Hall of Fame. But who has had a worse 2 days? Richmond Webb learned that he wasn't a finalist for the Hall of Fame. Then he had this Twitter account stolen from him, Barry Jackson style. Got hacked and got his Twitter account jacked on him. Man, what is going on these Twitter streets, man?
I don't know, man. You gotta just keep your wits about you. Try not to have too easy of a password guess. I don't know, man. I'm just praying that they don't come from me and my little 7,100 followers.
A Twitter account is like worth hundreds of thousands. Mine is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh, I shouldn't be talking about that because people.
Yeah, you wild. You looking like a lick right now. Good God Almighty.
I need to put more security measures on that thing.
Triple check that, John.
People see, but the thing about me, and I shouldn't brag, but you send me anything to sign in anywhere on a computer or my phone, give you a password, not happening. It don't happen. It can be the president of the United States calling me. I'm not going to put it in a password nowhere.
Never mind. I was about to say something, but I've been advised not to. So let
it ride. So what is your keys to this game and this week for Miami?
To me, is make Drake May uncomfortable. Like, that's the number one key. You got to make him uncomfortable. Because if I remember correctly, they have the best passing offense in the NFL, or if not the best, they're top 5. So you got to make them feel uncomfortable. Because you know that you have a guy in Rasul Douglas who can, for all intents and purposes, lock down one side of the field. So it's incumbent upon the pass rush, linebackers dropping back into their zones to make it very uncomfortable, very difficult for him. Second thing is defensively, they're gonna be physical, right? And the only way to beat physicality is match the physicality, right? So they have to be just as physical. And with the identity of this team being a run first team, right? It's the identity leans itself more towards that reliance on physicality. So those are the two big ones. And then last but not least, you got to protect the ball. Quinn Ewers, if I remember correctly, this team they might have only lost one game. If not, they're undefeated when they protect the ball and they win the turnover battle, right? So if Quinn Ewers plays like he did last week, protects the ball, makes timely throws, uses anticipation, uses his legs to, create some magic. Look, you'll at least be in the game if you don't commit any turnovers, right? So now will be incumbent upon the defense to force turnovers. And that's all comes with making Drake May feel uncomfortable.
New England is ranked 5th in scoring, allowing 28.3 points per game, and they are ranked 4th in yards per game with 370. No, actually, 4th with yards per game, 374.5. So
5th in scoring. You said 5th in scoring. Okay.
Yeah, 5th in scoring, 4th in total yards per game. They are 7th in third down efficiency. Interestingly enough, they are 22nd in red zone efficiency and success. Those are going to be some keys for the Miami Dolphins. I'm curious to see how they'll play. The Patriots, however, are the 7th worst team in terms. Seventh best team when it comes to yardage allowed, 302.4. And pretty much they are the 12th best team when it comes to third down efficiency, 38%. And the best team in the NFL, the worst team in the NFL when it comes to red zone defense. They are allowing 70% of red zone opportunities to be turned into touchdowns. So let's get to the red zone and put 7 up instead of 3. On that note, Dolphins in depth will be back on Friday, where we'll give you a wrap up of what happened in the week of practice, who's likely to play, who's not likely to play, and talk about how the Dolphins will perform and what happens after the season finale.
And I also will be enjoying some great Topo Chico because that is what I want when the Ohio State Buckeyes put that belt on the Canes tonight.
Whatever. Go Canes.